Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Lovely People webinar. Oh, we have somebody else jumping on with us. That's brilliant. Welcome. Come on in. We've only just started. So tonight we have the lovely Bec Freeman joining us. So it's really, really good to see you, Bec. Now, I have to confess, most people, not everyone, but most people that come on my Lovely People webinars, I've actually met and I know them. But I don't know if I have actually met you in person. I'm not sure. Don't think so.
We may have met along the, some event, and we've just not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of looking, thinking, I'm not sure either. But we've got tonight, so we're
exactly. This is it. It's perfect. We can find out. So the idea kind of behind the Lovely People webinars is, when I first came across the principles, I wasn't in a great place, and the world looked to me like a big bad place full of people who were out to get me, and kind of, not nice people. And then as my understanding of the principles sort of became, as I sort of looked in that direction, I kind of started to see all these lovely people. My life just seems to be filled with lovely people, and so I just thought it would be great to introduce some of these people, just have a chat with these lovely people, have some fun, spend a nice friendly evening kind of sharing what you've seen as well. What's been your experience since you've come across this understanding? What's changed for you? Anything like that. I would really love to hear a little bit about you that makes sense to you from your wisdom right now to share with us.
Okay. Well, hi everybody. Oh, right. So I kind of stumbled across the principles 8 years ago. Initially through Michael Neal's Super Coach Academy, but it was at a time when he was kind of transitioning from, because it was really strange to be on his first Super Coach Academy, because he was lots of techniques and the principles. It was really, really strange, because I really struggled with all the techniques where we had to go away and practice and ask certain questions, do it a certain way. And then we had the principles, which was like completely the opposite. And I really did struggle to kind of deal with that. And I can see now why. But I was saying before, that I have always felt like there shouldn't be any rules, because we know what way is right for us in the moment, and it can change from moment to moment. And it took me a long time to see that's what had happened, when I first discovered it. I mean, I remember the first, we had a webinar, I think, with George Pransky, and I listened to it, and I was kind of like, yeah, that's really nice, but I don't really know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
It felt really nice.
Sorry, guys. I was trying to turn my light on because it looked really, really dark, and I got myself caught in the wire. I do apologise. As you were.
And so it kind of had an impact, and I went off and did my coaching after I finished, and there was something that shifted, but it wasn't huge. But then I ended up working with a coach called Rich Litvin, who was nothing to do with the principles, but he invited me to an event of Jamie Smart's, just as his guest. He was coming over, and he was one of Jamie Smart's good friends, and so I went to this event with absolutely no expectation. For me, if I was brutally honest, I just thought, it's a freebie. I've got a great weekend away from my kids. I can just go and have fun, stay in a hotel. It was like really lovely. So I went along, and after the weekend, I came away and I felt like I was having a breakdown. I completely didn't know what was happening in my life, because everything looked different. And I mean, if people would say, well, what is it we saw? And I was like, I just don't know, but I can't live the way I was living. I can't parent the way I was parenting. I can't work in the same way. I can't do anything, because it all looks strange. And I remember, because that was the weekend I met Julian, and And I remember him coming to visit me and saying, "Oh, it's okay. That's what happens in the Three Principles." He said, yeah, people kind of go through that. Don't worry about that. It's fine. It'll pass. And so now looking back on it, I can see that I'd seen something quite big. And I only realised that because Jamie, when I talked to Jamie about it, he fed back to me and said, "Oh, you had like quite a huge insight." What he saw was that I'd been living my life in a very formulaic way, and what I'd seen made me abandon all formula of how to live, and so everything just looked a bit crazy. So that's the beginning of it. And at that point I was like, I want more of that. I don't know what it is. I don't understand the theory behind it, because obviously at that time that's what I thought it was all about, but I have to have more. So I actually packed in working with my coach, who I was going to sign up for an apprenticeship with. I feel really awful. And I signed up with Jamie for a year. And that was an amazing journey, because I did like a whole year with him, with lots of other teachers, Kathy Casey and Sandy Crott, and just masses of really fabulous teachers. I went through, it was really hugely impactful, but it was like a roller coaster ride. It constantly felt like I just didn't know what was going on. And I was constantly trying to understand it, trying to grasp it. And it took me a long time to realize, even though people would say, it's not here, it's not something you can put form around and intellectualize. It's deeper than that. But I'm like going, yeah, I know that. And then I go back into my head going, yeah, but tell me what consciousness is again. Because I remember Julian used to say to me, yeah, this is what consciousness is. And then it would be like, it was like a bit like in a fishbowl, like within, I'd just forget. It would just be gone within seconds. No, tell me again. And it did take me, in fact, probably took me years for me to realise that's not what it is. And I guess over the years, the more I've kind of connected with the feeling and followed that and kind of allowed myself to be led by that, that's for me where all the magic's been. Because I know when I'm in my head, it's not there. When I'm trying to work it out, even though I'm convincing myself, no, this is my wisdom. I know it's not, because I'm not feeling it. And then there's been other times in my life where it's almost like I'm the decision, like there's been decisions in my life that I've like thought I needed to make. And then all of a sudden the decision's made. It's almost like it's made for me, and I'm just pushed in a direction, and all of a sudden I'm there. And I'm like, how did that happen? I didn't think about that. I didn't make that decision. And so the more that's happened, the more I trust. Okay, when it's right, it will kind of happen through me. Things just appear. And I don't have to work it out. I don't have to be in control of it, because I guess in lots of ways I felt like I have to know all the answers and be in control. And in fact, we've been having some conversations with Dickon over the past couple of weeks. And it's strange, because I'm like going, oh my God, for the last 8 years, I thought it was this. And I thought, I've got it. I know. I get it. It's about thought. It's about whatever. And then I talked to Dick, and it's like, oh my God, how can I've got it wrong for so many years? And he said, no, it's not. It's just your level of consciousness has changed. So you just see it differently now. So it's not that you didn't have an understanding. It's the consciousness has changed. So, you just see it different. And so even just over the past 2 or 3 weeks, everything's changed again. And I'm noticing all these, what I thought were truth in life. No, honestly, they were truth. Truth. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, no, another belief. Oh, another belief, And it's like, how can I have got that so wrong? I had this belief that I've been around these principles for 8 years now. I mean, come on, I must know something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've just gone back, right to the beginning. But it's kind of cool because I'm like, oh my God, things just feel so much easier now. I've been struggling for quite a while with lots of different things, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's like being a child again. It's like, it's really playful now. It's like, oh no, that doesn't matter. That can look like a catastrophe, but it's okay. I don't really know how I'm going to deal with this, but that's okay as well. I can just let go. And it just constantly amazes me how it can just keep seeing things more and more deeply. And it's like, oh my God, I never saw that. And then you say to somebody, let me tell you what I've seen now. And they go, well, we've done that before. And I'm like, no, but I really kind of get that now. I really kind of see it. And I've spent quite a while recently not having much to do with the principles. For I'm not sure for what reason, but it's not really been on my radar. And then just recently I got an opportunity to go and be part of Jenny and Dave's, and because they had some spare space on it. And so I was like, I got that weekend free, and I went. And it was so huge for me, so massive. And theirs was very much about, there was none of the language that I was used to hearing around the principles. It was almost like they weren't talking about the principles, but they were talking about the principles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my God, this is how I see it. Because I have real resistance to the words. Like if people like talk about mind, it's like, no. It's like, for me, automatically I go straight into my head. And when we don't talk about the words, we just talk from that deeper place, it's like, yeah, that's it. I don't need to intellectualize it and use words. And that was my experience being in India. It was like, it's everywhere, they know nothing about the principles here, but it's in everything, and that's why it's so wonderful being there. I feel like I'm jabbering on too much actually now.
It's absolutely beautiful to listen to you, and I can, it's so, I can see Lucy. The principles they are very much like a slippery fish. As soon as you think you've got hold of them, they're gone again. It's kind of like, that's very much, and and it is amazing, isn't it? You have the most deepest, profound insight that shifts something massive in you, and you kind of, any words that you put on it, any way you tell that to somebody, they're kind of like, well, yeah, you said that last week. And you're like, yeah, but no, I didn't. I hadn't seen anything last week at all. You've got no idea. It is definitely something that you have to have an experience of. It is very much like, it's all thought. Oh no, my God, it's all thought. Oh no, it's all thought. And it's the same. Again, it goes back to the conversation we were having before. The words just don't do this justice. And any words that we use, it's interesting, isn't it, that we have a conversation around it. But
it's strange actually, because I remember Jamie Smart once doing an exercise with us where he said, you need to talk about the principles without using the words mind, consciousness and thought. And I was like, perfect, because for me, I'll do anything to avoid using those words. And I don't quite know why I've got such a huge resistance to using the words. It's almost like, no, on some level, my wisdom's going, no, this isn't it. But I've all along, and I think this is why, one of the reasons I didn't follow the sort of road into becoming a practitioner, because I thought, if I become a practitioner, I have to talk about what it means. And I kind of realize now, because I talk about the principles all the time to everybody. I've just trained to become a parent mentor for parents that have got children with special needs and disabilities. And I've done my training with that, and I've told the guy all about it, but I haven't told him anything about it in a way, because all there. It's like, once you see it, at whatever level, it comes through you. Can I be honest, without you having to say the words, it's just there. And I love that. And so now, since seeing Jen and Dave do their event, for me, it's really given me like, oh, I had a belief that you had to do it in that certain way. You have to describe it, because my experience of the principles in the past, people have talked about mind, consciousness and thought. And I'm thinking, I don't, that's the way they is right for them to do it. It's not for me. And so now it's like, oh, I have some belief that says I thought I had to do it that way. Whereas I don't. I can just talk about the principles, from here.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that goes back again to what we were saying before, isn't it? It's not right or wrong. It's not saying, if it makes sense to someone to talk about mind, thought and consciousness, talk about mind, thought and consciousness. If it doesn't make sense to you, then don't. No, it's not right or wrong to do either or not.
yeah.
Because it's not in the words anyway. Whatever word, if we're having a conversation about this, what we're pointing to isn't about words, full stop. So any words that we use, exactly like the other Bec was saying, it's like this, but it's not this. It's like mind, thought and consciousness, but it's not exactly that. There isn't a word that contains what it is. So
it's like when I was in India, we were kind of staying for the month it was a hotel, but wasn't quite a hotel. It's not like a hotel like you'd imagine it to be a hotel. Took me a little while to adjust to it. I mean, I loved it in the end. I loved how basic it was, and the fact my toilet didn't flush and my shower never worked for a month, but there was a really beautiful, wonderful lady there that was the cleaner, and you'd see her every day just sweeping the floors, and she was always just like just this ray of sunshine, just oozing love, this beautiful smile, and we'd all smile, and she didn't speak a word of English, and obviously we couldn't speak a word of her language, so we were like, we just smile and namaste kind of thing. And when we finished at the end, me and my friend had decided we were going to leave some of our things, our toiletries and some of our clothes and shoes and that, because obviously we bought some things to take back and we couldn't fit them all in our suitcase. So we decided that we'd wrap it all up and give it to the cleaner as a gift, everything from us. There was bags of stuff. And there was some things, like some things I'd bought a really lovely scarf to take with me, and I thought that'd be really nice for her, it'd be really nice to know that somebody in India is wearing my nice scarf that I bought. And so we gave them the stuff to her, and she was just so overwhelmed, and there was no words spoken. We had pictures and everything taken, and it was just such a beautiful moment being with her in that space, just that feeling. And just no words can express kind of how special it was to me and to my friend Laura. But for me, even there's no words, but it's there. There's that connection that, no words needed, no words mattered.
Yeah, words kind of get in the way sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Now, if I start having a coughing fit, you'll have to excuse me, and I will have a tablet, because it seems to be when I talk for any length of time, I start to get. I'll warn you now.
That's okay. It all looks perfect to me. I've loved listening to you. It's really, really nice to kind of hear, what you've seen and about going to India. And so, what do you think is the main thing? You said when you kind of went on that first weekend, something really, really shifted for you. If somebody was new to this understanding, because I know some people that watch these webinars afterwards, I know we've kind of said about the principles, but they're like, well, what are you talking about? And I know, maybe you don't want to put words on them, but What do you think is the main thing that has changed for you? And what would you say to somebody who was new to this understanding? Kind of, what are we talking about here?
I think for me, the main thing is prior to the principles, I kind of thought it was just about me. I had to work everything out. I had to work my life out. I had to work out my parenting and my relationships and everything, my work, everything. I didn't quite think there was anything else, even though you kind of hear, yeah, we're all connected. We're all one, you know. I kind of was very, yeah, get that. But obviously I didn't. And so it's like I have to have it all worked out. I have to have my plan A, plan B, plan C, you know, for any catastrophe that might happen in my life. And for me, experiencing the principles initially, I saw that it wasn't just me. I kind of was able to I'd gone from kind of being very blinkered in this is how life is to like, oh my God, there's so much more. And the kind of infinite possibilities that I had played with before. I used to kind of like, when I used to be a trainer, I'd be like very, you know, anything's possible. And if you want to do that, why can't you do that? And I would go down that route and question things, but on a deeper level, I'm not sure I kind of really bought it at that point. Paid it a bit lip service. But I think with the principles, it's just taught me, it's reminded me, because I think I always knew. It's reminded me again that it's not just about me, and that there is so much more out there, and there's so much more that I could ever comprehend that could occur in my life, or just endless possibilities. And so when I get to a situation where I get very caught up in, like, you know, when Julian and I separated a few years ago, and you know, I kind of walked out with no income, no money, 2 kids and a dog, and I had nowhere to go. I mean, literally left the house with nowhere to go. But there was a feeling inside of me that you have to leave, you have to walk away. And over time, I've got very good at going, okay, my head might be screaming, no! But somewhere deeper is going, no, trust, just move in that direction. And so I moved in that direction. And then all of these things that I would never, ever have expected. I mean, I would never have expected that within 18 months, we would have found our way back to each other and got married. I would have never thought that I would have ended up stumbling across the most perfect place to live and a job that I didn't even go looking for, without, you know, all these things that just happened, a job that would fit in with my children and their schooling. And it's like, how did that happen? You know? And then just things just occurred, because at the point when I walked out the door, I realized I had no plan A, B, or C. There was like, oh, there's nothing. And I literally had to just let go and go, I can't do it anymore. I just need to let go and see what happens. And over the years, when I get into that place where it's like, oh, I feel so tight and constricted, and I don't know how I'm going to cope. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. That's when I know, okay, I'm back here. And I just need to go. And sorry, I'm getting emotional now because it takes me back there. So for me, it's the thing that it's been big for is showing me that there's always a way through it, and that when I'm here, I'm just forgetting. I'm forgetting that there's more than me. I'm forgetting that I'm connected to so much more than just this physical body. And so allowing myself to just remember, oh, okay, I'm doing that again. You know, and it just reminds me that it doesn't matter what occurs in my life, it doesn't matter how bad it looks. I know in the moment, I'm just I've just forgotten, and I just need to step back, and then I'll see my way forward. And so the principles for me have been amazing for, you know, some of the hellish parenting things that have gone on, because I've got teenagers. You know, certain things that have happened that in the past I would have thought, there's just no way through this. I don't know how I'm going to cope with this. And having an understanding of the principles has allowed me to go, oh no, it's okay. I'm just caught up in whatever story's going on. And that if I just, will pass. And I'll get my way through it, and it will be amazing at some point. But right now it looks like shit. I'm not sure whether that answers your question, because I've kind of forgot your question.
Sounds absolutely perfect to me. I just think it's great to just converse like this, to just talk, to have, you know, I questions don't really matter, do they?
Okay.
You know.
I know, especially with parenting, because I was talking to Dickon last night about the parenting aspect of it. Because for me, especially parenting teenagers, because I'm at that stage where it's like I've been a single parent for quite a few years, and not a lot of kind of family support, and so it's been very like, just got to keep going and keep control and just make sure everything's okay, and kind of almost protect them a little bit too much, do everything for them, and I'm obviously paying for that now. And so having this understanding of the principles has allowed me to see, or to remember that, you know, they're connected to the same wisdom I'm connected to. You know, it's very easy, I think, as a parent to go, no, I'm the parent. The children, I am here to teach them the way. And they remind me every now and then how wrong I've got that. And they'll say, you know, there's been times where I've lost my way, and my daughter's come down and said the most profound, amazing thing to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. You get this too. And, you know, and so it's like, wow. And so it's allowed me to be more, I can have a lot of thinking about how my kids are doing, you know, when they're out and about. Are they safe? You know, is there drugs involved? Is there alcohol? And and I could go crazy with that thinking.
Yeah.
But with the principles, I go, no. They're connected in the same way. They're probably more connected than you, because you've got a load of thinking in the way at the moment. And so it's really, really helped with parenting. It's just such an opportunity for us as parents to learn so much about ourselves, but also, you know, to not to teach the kids things, but just to live it and allow them to see it for themselves. And it's like, wow, how cool. You know, I had to wait till I was 40 till I kind of started to see it. They're getting it at like in their teens. You know, how cool is that? You know, so it's really quite wonderful. You know, the more aspects of your life you look at and think, yeah, gosh, thank God for this.
Yeah, I can certainly identify with the whole parenting thing. My children are grown up, but you never stop, doesn't matter how old they are, you never stop being their parent. And, you know, you never stop having that, if they get into trouble or do something that you think, you know, is dangerous or wrong or not right, you know, it's very, very easy to go into that place again. You know, I'm still their mum. It's up to me to look after them. It's up to me to make sure they're okay. And it's really, really good to be reminded, hey, no matter what it looks like to you, they've got their wisdom.
Well, it's like at the moment, my daughter's just about, she's a week today, she'll have just done her first GCSE exam. And I've had a lot of thinking about that over the months, trying to get her to encourage her gently to revise. Encourage gently, really not try and push too much, but obviously she sees it as me pushing lots. Now, with doing some sessions with Dickon, I'm really seeing that, okay, I don't need to do any of that, you know? I can just go, do you know what? It were a week away. I can kind of let it go now and just be in that space with her and just go, yeah, it'd be really good if you did some revision. And so, yeah, but yeah, okay, let's not talk about it then. It's just, because she's going to be okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you can get very wrapped up in, no, it has to be a certain way. Yeah, it's no, she's got to get these results because she's got to get on this course, or she's got to, And it's like, no. And it just, it takes so much of the pressure off, because you create all this anxiety for yourself and for your kids. It's like, why bother? Some people completely flunk school and still go on to live a wonderfully happy life. Why do I think that my wisdom is any better than hers? For hers, what's right for her.
It's a beautiful gift, I think, to be able to give your children, to see that in yourself and see that in them. Like it makes a huge difference. Yeah, I definitely saw that as a massive, massive gift. Completely changed my parenting and has saved my sanity on more than one occasions when my children don't conform and do exactly what I think they should do. And when they don't see the world the right way or the way I see it.
And then when they turn around and remind you and you go, oh,
yeah,
I lost my way. But no, it's kind of like you just wish everybody could see this or remember this. Like now it's like, oh, gosh, if you knew how amazing you are.
Yeah.
And the possibilities, whatever the situation is, it's like, oh my God, if you had a glimpse of that, it would be like complete. Because I've been known to take life a little bit too seriously. I'm sure my husband would not. And spent many, many years, especially when I was younger. I had real issues when I was younger with an eating disorder and issues around my dad, who was an alcoholic. And I carried all that thinking for so many years. I went through years and years of therapy, years and years of revisiting it all, just so much anger, that I didn't see my dad for 20 years. And I spent 20 years angry. And then I went to my granddad's memorial service. So when I saw my dad the first, when it initially all happened, I was 17. The next time I actually really saw him was at my granddad's memorial when I was 37. So I gone from being a child really to being an adult with kids of my own. And I remember sitting there in the service and looking at my dad and thinking, because it had gone, every bit of anger had gone, there was nothing. And I remember trying to bring it back, hold on a minute, he was really abusive and awful and alcoholic and all the years you went through, no, and then it was just not there. And I'm like, what's going on? Because this was before the principles for me. And I'm like, something's weird here, because I've spent all this time angry and now it's gone. And now I see that I've had quite a deep shift without realising. And we spent the next 3.5 years together with such an amazing, fantastically close relationship. And it's like, how could that happen? How could you go through all of that and then get to this beautiful place and have this most amazing relationship? And so years later, when I saw the principles, it was like, okay, saw it differently. And so none of it mattered, because the past, I was just dragging the past with me. No, let me just put these bags on my back and there's even more painful. Let's put more on. And so now whenever I'm in a situation where there's real hurt in some kind of relationship with somebody, whether it's family, whether it's a friendship that's gone a bit nasty, I know that whatever happens, however bad it seems, that could completely transform in a moment.
Mm.
And I could see that person with such love and understanding, because I went there with my dad, and that was, I mean, with my dad, it was like the complete extreme, one extreme to the other. And it's like, wow. I mean, that is so cool when you just can let go. And then, so, you know, people can do, you know, all these people that can do these awful, awful things in the world, which doesn't make them bad. It just makes them do, you know, they're crazy thinking, they do crazy things. But it shows you that you can move from that to such a beautiful, living place in a moment.
Mm.
And it's like, I just think, it's kind of like magic. It's just like, wow.
Mm.
You know, I've got one of my friends at the moment has got a few issues with a relative of hers, and there's such animosity. And she said, we'll never have the same relationship again. And I said, you just never know. And I've shared with her my experience of this, and she was like, I just can't ever imagine, you know, that would happen. And I said, well, neither did I, but just stay open to the possibility. Because sometimes it just smacks you between the eyes.
Yeah.
And it's all different, and just gives you such hope that however bad things are, however bad things look in the world, that there's always space for things to completely transform without doing anything, you know. And so I think for me, the more that we share these principles, the more people that see this, the more opportunity there is for just immense love in the world. And it's just like, because there's a lot of scary, fearful thinking. You know, you just look in the newspaper and you think, but the principles just gives you hope that that could just change just in the next thought. I love it.
Yeah. And what I love about what you sharing that was, like you said, that huge shift around your dad happened before you understood the principles. Because I know, like, sometimes when I speak to people, they're kind of, you know, it's like we're adding something to somebody sharing the principles with them. But it really illustrates when you kind of said that shift happened before there was any understanding, because all the principles is an explanation for how that is possible.
Yeah.
Those amazing shifts and those, you know, transformational changes, that was always there. You know, it doesn't, the principles don't make that happen, or they do, but the principles were always, you know, they were always there. It wasn't that, you know, you're adding something to somebody, you know, somebody is coming across these principles and there's nothing to add to somebody. We are born with the ability to have that new thinking and to have that total transformation. And like when you said to your friend, just stay open, because we just never know. And all the principles does really is wake us up to that.
So I think as long as we're, you know, I've spent a lot of my life thinking about everything, every solution or every problem that I've got in relation to my experience in the past. You know, this is what will happen because this is what happened last time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and so many people think that, you know, I get talking to people and they go, no, that is what will happen because that's happened like 10 times before. And I said, yeah, but what happens if it doesn't? What happens if on this one occasion? You know, and they can often experience a lot of resistance when I say something like that. But even just in the resistance, you just know that just that little seed that's planted, that you're just questioning something. Because I've had it with me when I have conversations with Dick, and I'll be like, he'll say something and I can feel the resistance rising in me.
Yeah. No.
Damn, there's some truth in that probably then.
Damn him.
Caught me out. You know, I thought I knew it all. But yeah, so it's just lovely to, even if you say nothing about the you know, the three principles to people, but you just, you know, kind of gently nudge, you know, and question their kind of, their beliefs that they have about how things work, you know. I remember when I got divorced from my first husband, and it's when he left. It was a bit messy, and he met somebody else and went off, and just not very nice. But I was aware that it was very traumatic for me, but we were finished way before he left. And I met another woman who, she was going through a divorce. No, she'd been through a divorce, and she was like so angry, so angry with her husband, because he'd gone off and had an affair with a best friend, which wasn't great. And she was still angry about it. But by this point, it was a few months after my ex left me, and I just kind of got to a place of, well, it's gone, it's done. We were kind of dead in the water way before, so just let it go. And there's times where I got angry, and I'd get in my thinking about it, but generally I was quite okay with it. But my friend, she was angry, and I was like, how long ago? And 6 years. And she was more angry. Yeah, in fact, she was like, really like, how can you not be angry with what he did? Like, well, it's done. It's gone. And it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but, and again, this was pre-principles, but I knew that there was a way through it, even though it looked very messy. And also I thought, I just don't want to be in that space where I'm just angry, because it's going to affect my life and my kids' life. And I just want to let go of it, and I think you can hold on to that thinking and just keep living it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a shame in some respects, because you've got this beautiful life, and we can be so playful with it. We can, it's fun. It's kind of like we're in kindergarten. Like, it's like, yeah, let's okay, this happens, I'll cry for a moment, and then, let's play again. What can we do now? And the principles, I think the principles really helps you see the playfulness of life.
Yeah.
Because you can get very deep into the thinking of it. And I mean, some people I've shared it with that don't have an awareness of the principles, as what we're talking about here, they get quite angry about it. No, you're not taking it seriously. And I'm like, no, because I'd rather be here, be happy, than spend my life stressed about something that has happened that I can't really do anything about now. That doesn't mean I don't nip back into it, because I do.
I think we all do that, but also the whole playful bit, that's very much the lovely people webinar sharing this, we are absolutely 100%, let's play at life, let's see what we can do, let's kind of get out there and see what happens. And hey,
well, it's almost like it doesn't matter how awful things can be in your life, if you can come from that more playful place, it's like, it takes that, it's kind of like just takes the edge off everything, because it's like, okay, I don't have to take it seriously. It's okay. Or no, but what was I thinking? No, this will let go. Let's go back out and play. Yeah, it doesn't always happen like that. But if you can just, it's like today. I suffer quite often with really bad chronic kind of ear pain. I only get it every now and then, but I've had it pretty bad today, and I don't take tablets generally. I tend to live quite a, no drugs kind of, lifestyle, lots of healthy stuff. But today I had to take ibuprofen, because it's like, that's the only thing that will touch it. But it just kind of takes the edge off it. It's still there. For me, it's a bit like the principles. It's a bit, when you have this understanding, even if it's only a little bit, it just takes the edge off. It's like, okay, I'm still feeling it, but I kind of,
yeah, okay with that.
Yeah. And it's just beautiful that you can do that, rather than getting so involved in it. I remember Jamie once talking about, I don't know whether have you seen Jamie do stuff before?
A little bit, yeah.
There's a bit where he talks about the first film that was made where it was of a train coming into a station? Do you remember that one?
You know what? That was the very first thing I ever heard about the principal.
Really?
Yep. I came across the principles through Jamie, and it was a recording of him talking about that was the first thing I ever heard.
That had such an impact on me. It was one of the first things I heard, actually. Such an impact, because it's like, it's so true. We believe that it's actually happening.
Yeah.
And think of all these people running out, thinking, oh my God, it's going to come and kill us, kind of thing. It's like, yeah, that's how we think. It's, you know, and it's not. It's just a picture on a screen. It's just us making shit up, you know? And I just love that. And it's just lovely to be able to remind yourself that when it looks so frighteningly scary, oh God, I'm in that theatre again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
back there.
watching that scary movie and believing it's real. And it's like, oh no, you got me again.
It's so cool. This has been brilliant. I've had a ball. It's been so. I love listening to you. I could carry on listening all night. But shall we just see? I know we've only got a few people on here, but has anyone got a question, a comment? Would anyone like to ask Bec anything, or would anyone like to, you know, share anything that's coming for them since Bec's been talking away? I think you can unmute yourself if you want to, or I can unmute you, or you can. Yeah, hey, looks like we can just carry on talking. No, give me a minute.
It's strange, actually, because I did have a bit of thinking about being on here today, because I thought I'm going to have nothing to talk about. I'm going to get so into my thinking and like make stuff up. And it's like, once you get taught, it's funny, because once you get told, it's like, it just comes through, doesn't it? It's like, oh, okay, it's all there. You know, once I got out of the way, you know.
Yeah. It's been beautiful. What you've been sharing has been really lovely. And I think it's so nice, I think, to kind of have these conversations with somebody that you don't normally talk with, because it's very easy, isn't it, when you have conversations with the same people and hear the same. It's really nice to kind of hear somebody else's version, because everything that you said, I can, you know, there's nothing new there, and yet it's all new.
Now, that's the lovely thing. I mean, I know going on Jenny and Dave's retreat, there was lots of people that were quite new to it, and I'm so used to being on events where everybody has been doing it for like 300 years, you know? and it was so lovely, refreshing to be with people that are like, oh, I don't know, you know, and you kind of like saying, you know, who else have you kind of seen, you know, like, I don't know anything to do with the principles. I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. And they, you know, you see them having these moments where they've seen something, it's like, oh my God, that's like so cool. Because I'm so used to sometimes with people, when we know a lot or we've been around it a long time, sometimes you can get a bit into your head talking about it, working it out. Whereas when it's somebody that comes from it fresh, it's like they're a little child going, oh yeah, kind of, oh, I've seen this. So, oh my God. And I had a conversation with one of the women that had never had anything to do with the principles, but she'd seen, she'd had a daughter, 16-year-old daughter, had an impact through it. And she'd seen such transformation. A daughter brought her along to the event. It was so cool. And I ended up having lunch with her one day. And it was so lovely. She was talking, because I was like thinking, you know, because for me, I can get into my thinking a bit about, I should know a bit more because I've been around it this long.
We're great, aren't we?
Oh God. So I mean, normally I wouldn't admit that to anybody, but hey.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone your secret.
But and sat with her, and she's completely new to it, but in her talking and sharing what she'd seen, which was huge for her, it was like I got to see something as well. And it's like, oh my God, that's like so cool, because you are completely new to this, and in sharing what you've shared with me, I've seen something else. Isn't that like, you know? So it doesn't matter where you're hearing it or where you're seeing it or where you're reading it. It's like everywhere. I love that.
Once you have eyes for it, like you said earlier, once you have eyes for this, there just is nowhere where it isn't. And it's almost like when we're blind to it, when we're caught in our thinking, it's nowhere.
Absolutely.
And once we kind of have seen it, it's everywhere. It's like, how did I not see it there? How did I not see it there? How did I not see it there?
And then you've got somebody that turns around to you when you're in your thinking and goes, it's only your thinking. And you're like, go away. Obviously, my husband's never done that. And I've never
clearly not. No. I could never imagine a time when Julian would do that. I've obviously never said that to anyone either.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, now it's like, I mean, it's great because we can have a laugh about it. But yeah, it's interesting how you can so not see it, and then other times it's like somebody saying you never see a green Volvo, and then you probably don't, and then all of a sudden all you see is green
Volvos. I'll look for one tomorrow.
But no, it's been really lovely being able to talk about this, because I don't, you know, tend to do a lot of this kind of stuff, and so it's really nice to be able to share some of the things I've seen as well, and also connect with you, and you know. So if you ever want to do anything again, I'm happy to.
Well, we will. We have lots of plans. We can see Lucy and Becky, they're like this. I don't kind of know how much you know about what's going on for us, but Lucy and Becky at the moment on the screen there are in Coventry, and I am in a house in Devon, and on Friday Lucy and Becky will be in this house with me, and they're coming to live here.
Oh, right. My best friend lives in Devon as well, so I come down there quite regularly. So
well, you absolutely have to hook up with us then when you come down. That's not open for discussion. You have to do that. Obviously, that's an order. No, it would be amazing. We're Lou and Becca moving down because we do obviously these lovely people webinars. We have meetup groups. We have 3 principals days. We do online stuff, and just about a year ago, a good friend of Lucy's unfortunately died, and we spent some time together. It just happened that that's what we were doing. We spent a week together as it happened, and we all kind of got talking about how life is too short not to be doing stuff you love and exactly like you're saying, playing at it and doing what you want to do, and things happen, life carries on being life. But we sort of hatched a plan then that we're just gonna play with this and see what we can do. We love sharing the principles. We love getting this understanding out there. We love watching people light up from the inside as they begin to understand themselves. And and like you said, it's just kind of all unfolding. It's like, how the heck did that happen? How am I in this house with they're about to move down here, and we're all going to sort of be together. And the lovely Julie Harvey, who's on here as well, she's going to come and join us a lot, I'm sure. And it would be great as well. We're definitely going to do more webinars, more talking, more connecting. It would be absolutely brilliant to have you come and see us here. We would absolutely love it.
That would be fab. I'd love to. That would be so cool.
Well, you absolutely, it's an open invitation. This house is a lovely big house. We've got a spare bedroom, we've got a massive garden and a tent, we've got 2 lounges, we've got plenty of beds and plenty of, then the shower works. And the toilet flushes.
And it has hot water, does it? Because I only have cold water.
We have hot water, flushing, working toilets, and showers, and everything.
That would be fabulous. It'd be lovely to come and see you.
Yeah, you're so nice. So it's been a delight. I've loved it. I've really, really loved hearing your story and getting to know you a little bit.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for having me here. It's been really lovely.
So has anyone got anything that they would like to ask, any comments they would like to make, anything they would like to share before we wrap it up tonight? Somebody made a noise then. What are you pointing to, Lou?
I thought Julie wanted to say something. She's muted.
No, I did actually. I just wanted to say how lovely that was, Bec. We've never met before, but I could just listen to you for hours.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were just saying.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I just want to listen.
I find myself so relaxed as well, so thank you.
Yeah, you've got some mad calming effect going on. Must be a reflection of me.
Yeah, you're so calming, Lou.
I know, that's really lovely. Thank you. It's weird, isn't it? The way you see yourself, and then other people say, you go,
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to spending more time doing stuff with you in the future.
Yes,
please
defo, come down. You can bring Psycho Julian as well if you like. We like him.
We love Julian. Yeah, the two of you absolutely have to come down, and even the kids. Hey, or unless you want a weekend or a weekend.
No, kids.
Well, I've got my son, my teenage son, who's 18. He has to be plugged into his life support machine, i.e. his computer. My daughter might come. We shall see. But she likes Devon anyway, so yeah. What, and who doesn't?
Yeah.
What's not to love? And now we're all going to be here. Hey, it's even, it's taken a huge jump up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years' time, when my daughter finishes college, that's where Julian might not realise that's where we're going to end up.
Oh, you said you're going to move there, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's the plan. Well, it was the plan to go this summer, but my daughter wanted to be here for college, so it's like, okay, we can do that. 2 years, and then we can just move down to Devon. It's kind of Budleigh, Salterton, kind of Sidmouth way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's too far away from where you are, is it?
Well, we're North Devon, but it's 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 accessible.
It's just Devon, so it's
To be fair, I was going to move down about 2 years ago, weren't I? When me and Kayla split up, and then it just didn't happen.
It didn't happen then, did it?
Feels like 5 minutes since that was going to happen.
I must admit, it's a real bonus to just being able to be, renting places, because it just means you can just go.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Easy. Always going to rant.
Me too. Although Julie's not so convinced. He might want to settle, but I'm like, no. Let's just keep,
Yeah,
Keep
going with flow, seeing where it's been an amazing journey. This kind of getting to this place now, and knowing, on Friday the girls are going to be here. It's just been an amazing journey. The move, the way that it's all unfolded, and the times exactly like you described, the times when I've been in my head thinking I have got to do this, and then the times when I've taken a breath and been like, do you know what, this is just going to do itself, and I can either stress about it and act like I'm doing it, or I can just let it unfold.
Oh
Yeah, it's amazing.
You all have a lovely time then down in Devon. I'll be quite jealous out here.
Well, anytime, just connect with me.
Anytime.
We've got our retreat in a few weeks. Come to that.
Yeah.
We have a retreat in June if you're free.
Retreat June the 11th to the 15th.
That's when my daughter's still doing her GCSEs, and I promised her, with spending a month in India, I would be here for all of her GCSEs.
That's fair.
I know. Just wait till the next.
The last Saturday of every month we have a workshop, so you could come at the end of June if you're free then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the end of June, the end of July, the end of August, the end of September. The last Saturday of every month we have a 3 Principles Day here. And, if you got in touch with us before and wanted somewhere to stay, we could sort that out too. And that goes to anybody listening to this. We always have those days. It's always great to see people. It's always good fun.
We love it.
So next week we have Tony Fiedler as our lovely person guest. So So if anyone would like to join us for that is going to be a hoot. I can't wait. I haven't seen Tony
for ages
and ages. So you used to kind of know him quite well, and then he's just kind of gone off the radar. I haven't spoken to him for a long time, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. And this was a delight and a pleasure. So thank you, Bec, for
thanks, Bec. It was awesome.
Thanks ever so much.
And take care, everybody, and see you all soon.
Bye.